Please be upstanding for the chairman.
Please be seated. You'll be further. Can I welcome everyone to the 2019 Annual General Meeting of North Tyneside Council. And the first item of business is to take nominations for Chair. Councillor Pickard.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Councillor Wendy Lott for the position of Chair of North Tyneside. I've known Wendy as a friend for many years before she became a councillor colleague in the Riverside Ward. Following the successful election of Norma as elected Mayor of North Tyneside, and I am pleased to see that despite her chronic attack of candiditis, that Wendy has once again been elected by the residents of Riverside for another 4 years. The Chair is a civic role and is seen by many residents as a non-political representative of the Council, and as such the Chair can reach many people and organisations in this non-partisan manner. In this role, the Chair is frequently invited to attend events in the community, such as openings and fundraising events, organised by voluntary and charitable organisations. Last year, when I moved Wendy for the position of Deputy Chair, I commented on how Wendy's heart was in the community and that she is passionate about policies to help those who are struggling. I am pleased to say that on the numerous occasions Wendy has carried out her duties as the Deputy Chair, people have commented on how Wendy has the ability to put everyone at ease and make individuals feel as if they are the centre of attention and that they really matter. Wendy can be relied on to go out of her way to help others. She respects and values you as an individual and goes on how she finds you, not as others describe you. She is sociable, extremely friendly and approachable, but above all else she is passionate about our borough and its people. Wendy describes North Tyneside as a fantastic borough and recognises that being the Chair brings with it the privilege of meeting a wide range of people and community organisations, experiencing firsthand some of the great work they do and speaking up for our area. I believe Wendy has demonstrated that she has something special to contribute to our council and will be an excellent ambassador for the residents of North Tyneside. I know she would see it as an honour and a privilege to be elected as Chair of this council. I would therefore ask the council to agree to elect Councillor Wendy Lott as Chair.
Thank you. I understand Councillor Johnson, you're seconding.
I am, thanks, Chair. I'm delighted to second Councillor Wendy Lott to be Chair of the Council. I know Wendy is immensely proud to be nominated to this role and will be a tremendous Chair. Although, I'm sure she will also be delighted that instead of having just one person in her life who has to raise his hand to speak, she will have a whole room full. In most cases, she can restrict them to no more than 5 minutes as well, meaning Councillor Frank Lott will have 4.5 minutes more than normal. I'm sure Wendy will grow to feel at home in this new role, which of course will be helped by the fact that the Chair's word is final, which absolutely mirrors the situation in the Lott household. Wendy's a fabulous councillor who is completely immersed in the community, which was evidenced recently when the door knocking session Riverside Ward where Wendy went missing. It turns out she was playing dodgeball with the kids in the local community centre. Wendy's a fantastic advocate for our community and always tries her hardest to get things done. If the principle of those who shout the loudest get the result, then Riverside will have an international airport in it. And that would be Wendy's indoor voice. Wendy will be a tremendous representative of our borough when representing the borough at civic engagements and will certainly entertain the other members of the chain gang. Although I know personally Wendy can be a bad influence. When Wendy first got into council in 2013, myself, Wendy, former councillor Jeanette Pickard and Brian Burders would often get wrong of the outgoing chair, second time round, Tommy Mulvenna, for laughing at the back of the room. She will do this role with pride, bring determination and genuine empathy for the people of North Tyneside and will be a tremendous representative of the borough, so I'm delighted to second Wendy Lott.
Do we have any other nominations? No? Then can I put it to the vote? All those in favour, please show. It's nearly unanimous. Then Wendy Lott is the new Chair of the Council, and I'll now hand over to Wendy Lott.
I, Wendy Lott, having been elected to the office of Chair of the Council of the Borough of North Tyneside, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability. Right, can I invite nominations for the position of Deputy Chair? Councillor Samuel.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your election. I'd like to nominate David Drummond as Deputy Chair of the Council. I met David Drummond not long after I moved to this area. Neither of us were councillors at the time. We were simply humble Labour Party members going out campaigning. But even then, it was clear to me that he had a real passion for serving his community. His work for the fire service is something he cares passionately about. It's more than a job for him, it's about keeping the community safe. But outside of work, he just can't help himself either. It's in his nature to help people out. If somebody has a problem, Davey is straight in to help. If you have a leaky tap, Davey can fix it. If he's in your car, Davey can tell you the engine is running just by listening to the noise that it makes, and no doubt he'll volunteer to help you fix it as well. So becoming a councillor for Davey was a natural progression to help more people. By his own admission, Davey is not one for making great long-winded speeches at the council chamber. Davey is more likely to be seen at 3 o'clock in the morning with a yellow jacket on, sorting out flooding problems for the people who elected him. As he would put it himself, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. It's infuriating, mind you, when you get a letter left home from Davey after a council meeting. I'm just going to check these dog bins to make sure they're empty. I'm just going to check this bit of waste ground because there was some kids misbehaving there. But that's Davey. He cares about his ward 24/7. His re-election a couple of weeks ago was testament to the recognition he's built up from the residents in his ward. Indeed, he gets approached from residents across the borough for other wards, such as his reputation. So Davey certainly is a man who doesn't go in for expensive glossy leaflets with empty promises. Davey refuses to indulge in negative campaigning. He allows his achievements to do the talking, and as a local councillor, he leaves most of us in the shade with his attention to his residents. Davey doesn't claim credit for things that other people have done. He doesn't have to. So I'm delighted to nominate Davey for Deputy Chair of the Council. As Martin Rankin, my friend, said recently, Davey is the most Geordie bloke that he's ever met. A true friend to most of on this side of the chamber and elsewhere, and a shining example of what a local councillor should be, and I'm sure he'll be an excellent Deputy Chair of the Council.
Do you have a seconder for that?
Thanks, Wendy, and congratulations on your appointment as Chair of the Council. Can I also wish Davey's wife, Julie, a happy birthday? She's in the audience tonight. I'm sure she can think of other places she'd rather be. It's an honour and a privilege to second the nomination of my good friend and colleague, Councillor Davey Drummond, for the post of Deputy Chair of North Tyneside Council. I should first say I first met Davey in the biker bar in Whitley Bay, although perhaps the less said about that the better. Davey is one of the hardest working community-orientated councillors in this chamber. Though he's only been an elected member for one term, his re-election in May with a vastly increased majority is indicative of the high regard that the residents of Monkston South have for Davey. Since being elected in 2015, Davey has been selfless in serving all of his community. From clearing the streets of snow during periods of inclement weather, to working with the Environment Agency and Northumbrian Water to ensure that the flood defences in Monkston are up to date and fit for purpose. He has helped instigate the multi-faith memorial service in Monkston and has helped set up and coordinate the Steve Stock Music Festival, which raises funds for local charities and which is to have its first summer outing this year in Monkston, opened by the Mayor. Davey is a firm, proactive supporter of many community groups in Monkston, from helping his local Hillhead Scout group with their regular litter picks, to being involved with all the activities at Whitley Bay Young People's Centre, for whom he is organising a music festival fundraiser in the summer. He is also a good friend of Whitley Bay Islamic Cultural Centre and an active and hands-on supporter of the environmental work undertaken by Surfers Against Sewage to keep our award-winning beaches clean and plastic-free. Councillor Davey Drummond will be an excellent Deputy Chair of North Tyneside Council, and I would like to commend his nomination to the Chamber.
Thank you. Do we have any more nominations for Deputy Chair? Can I invite Councillor Drummond up to the top table to sign the declaration? Oh, take the vote, please. Sorry. I know I won't get it out right all the time, which is hard to believe, I'm sure, but I got on this occasion, can we take the vote, please? All in favour? Almost unanimous. Now can I invite Councillor Drummond up to the table to sign the declaration? Thank you.
I, David Drummond, have been elected to the office of Deputy Chair of the Council of the Borough of North Tyneside. I hereby declare that I take this said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duty, therefore, according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Right, there will now be a short recess for the exchange of changes of office. Thank you.
Please be upstanding for the chairman.
I would now like to invite Councillor Carol Burdis to propose a vote of thanks to the retiring Chair and Chair's Consort, which will be seconded by Councillor Brian Burdis.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your appointment. I hope you enjoy your year. Can I say Tommy has been an excellent chair and ambassador for North Tyneside Council and the area throughout his term of office. As chair, he has been fair throughout the year. He has also been conscientious in his chairing of the council, making sure that all members are heard and given the chance to air their views, even if may cause a bit controversy within the chamber. There are times when members can be, let's say, a little bit difficult. Tommy has always held the ability to diffuse situations that may have gotten out of hand without his intervention in such situations, and he was fair and tolerant of members' views. Not everyone may have been dancing for joy, but we got through the business of the council. I believe we all know that Tommy has a strong belief in civic duty and with it, civic pride. He takes pride in his work with the community, which is second to none, and it's not his duties that drives Tommy. Tommy really cares about people and communities within our borough. This can be seen in what he has done up and beyond the role of chair. He is a kind and generous man. His fundraising skills are appreciated by all, especially by those who have benefited by his funds, the funds that he has raised. His drive to get as many defibrillators out into the community as possible shows his care for people. The defibrillators are now in schools, public buildings and other areas that are of use by the public. Highlighting his care for the well-being of people in the community, while we all hope that these machines are not needed, I am sure that if they are, they will save lives. And thank you, Tommy, for your achievement in that. Residents and community groups are also recipients of his generosity in other ways. There are plenty of community groups that have been given prizes and raffles from Tommy. He has also given up lots of his own spare time to attend presentations and given out prizes to North Tyneside residents and community groups. As an ambassador for the authority, Tommy gives his all. It may appear an easy and enjoyable job going from one function to another, but it's not always the case. It can be difficult, tiring, and Tommy has usually showed his enthusiasm and it's never swayed. He has been justly complimented by many, especially his peer group, who understand how difficult the job can be at times. I know we appreciate the work he has done, and to sum it up, Tommy has worked hard as a chair, and he has been diligent, conscientious and generous in his term of office. I'd just like to say well done to Tommy, and thank you for continuing all the ward work that you've done during that busy time. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe Brian Burdis has also got something for the thanks.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your appointment. As has been said, Tommy has conducted the office of Chair with fairness and, of course, integrity. His foremost thought as Chair was to serve members, residents and officers. He never shirked away from complex issues or those occasional times when some of our members were not on their best behaviour within the chamber. He was patient and dealt with members with fairness, often as not putting a humorous slant on his response to any individual or group concerned. I know Tommy, and I know how important civic duty is to him. He, alongside his wife Maureen, proved to be great ambassadors for North Tyneside as a council, but I believe more importantly, as ambassadors for the borough as a whole. They went out of their way to promote the area, towns and villages, our community groups, charities and residents to the region and beyond. Fundraising for charities has been a signature of Tommy's term as chair. I'm not saying that he used his position to twist a few arms to help raise money and help a few wallets see the light of day, but there were one or two members still in a state of shock when they realised how many raffle tickets that Tommy had sold them. All in a good cause, of course. And the residents of North Tyneside are the beneficiaries, as Carol has said, of his fundraising skills. As already mentioned, the defibrillators are in schools and in public places. In case of necessity, that may save lives. Tommy's friendly manner made him accessible to residents, young and old. He's always had time to speak to you, even if he had a pressing appointment. I know he's very well thought of in Valley Ward, and I know this extends to the borough and further afield. I would like to thank Tommy for the way he conducted the chair this year with integrity, fairness, and most of all, with common sense. Well done, Tommy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burgess. Is there anybody from the other political group? Councillor Wallace.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations upon your appointment to your new role. I would like to thank Councillor Mulvenner and his consort on behalf of the Conservative Group for the work which they have done in the course of the last municipal year. We know it can be an extremely demanding role, and he has our thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak? I would like to add my thanks. I think I would like to add my thanks to Arthur Daly. Tommy Mulvenner, because he's always wheeling and dealing, and I bet you in the inside of his jacket now there'll be several pens, watches, bags, and any other things that Tommy likes to hand out. He pays for all of these things out of his own pocket, and I think he gets great pleasure in giving, and that's a wonderful thing to have, is the ability to give without expecting anything in return. Thank you, Tommy. You've been a great mentor and a great help to me during my year as deputy, and give my thanks to Maureen as well. She's been a good help to me also, and a good companion when we've been to events together. Thanks once again, and I hope I can do as good a job as what you've done. Thank you. Tommy, if you want the right to reply, now's your chance. You've got 5 seconds to start, or else...
It's all right, Chair. I've only got 6 pages. First of all, thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to speak. Can I, first of all, congratulate you and the Deputy on their appointments tonight. I hope you have an enjoyable year. Can I also congratulate members on what I see as a massive improvement in behaviour in this chamber over the last 12 months, considering what it was like when I first had the role of chair some years ago. I'd also like to thank my ward colleagues who, though I've still done work in the ward, they have actually been of great assistance, officers of the council and staff, and particularly staff of the council for their generosity. I didn't have much trouble actually twisting anybody's arms up their backs. They were pretty quick to dip their hands in their pockets. In fact, I went to see somebody about a job the other week, and the lady took her purse out of her handbag and asked me how much the tickets were, to which I sold her 2 books and then forgot about the job until I got out of the door. So that was the sort of fun we had. With regards to charities or projects, my original, at the start of my term of office, was 2 projects, which, after listening to staff within the council, turned into 5 projects, and I'd just like to update you on those. Defibrillators in schools, I originally got the idea from Mary Glindon, our MP, in a conversation, and when I asked officers, I found that there was a number of schools without defibrillators. When I then drilled down and asked staff and governors within the schools, they basically said that they'd had to make a choice between books and a defibrillator, and to be perfectly honest, I was quite shocked at that. However, at this point, I'd like to thank in particular Mark Longstaff, Ian Bethan and Wendy Burke, who, along with other members of their teams, were able to assist in helping me get defibrillators into all the schools. All of our schools now have defibrillators, which I think is absolutely imperative. It also triggered some people in the community, I believe, to actually start to help, in particular a chap who, because of his own bereavement within the family, was able to supply some down the coast. The unfortunate thing is that someone actually stole one, which I must admit I have had rather harsh words about. Make Christmas Special this year will have received a total of £3,500 This organisation was set up some time ago, again by staff, assisted by volunteers and councillors. The councillors were mainly Gary and Linda Bell, and ex-councillors Leslie Spillard and Alison Waggett-Fairley, who, and I apologise if I've missed anybody out at this point, who have set about doing this Make Christmas Special each year. And I think it can be summed up best when I met a volunteer in North Shields who told me that a gentleman told her it was the first Christmas dinner he'd had in 18 years. And I must admit that came as a bit of a shock to me. She actually said she was in tears. We've also been able to help the Young Mayors charity. Last year it was the Whitley Bay Food Bank, and we were able to assist by increasing the amount of money that they had raised by 40%, so that they could hand over a cheque for £4,000 to the Whitley Bay Food Bank. I think this demonstrates the ability of our young people, and it's a credit to them, and I think it should be noted by this council, the work that these young people put in. We will also be making a donation in the region of £1,000 to Walking With, a suggestion again that came from the staff of North Tyneside Council. This is an organisation based in Wallsend who deals with people a lot less fortunate than most, if not all, of the other residents of North Tyneside. The next thing we'll be funding, again, because of the request from staff, is we will be installing a defibrillator at St Mary's Lighthouse. St Mary's Lighthouse is visited by 80,000 people a year and is actually the finish of the run and also of the walk. And I think it's very important. When I mentioned this recently to the MP for Tynemouth, he said it was a fantastic credit to staff of the council. And I say that because 99% of the total funding that has been achieved this year has come from the generosity of staff and councillors who have actually bought raffle tickets. Some, on the other hand, have chosen not to. If there's any change left, which I hope there will be a little bit of change left, and I would encourage people, if they do have a few spare quid in their pockets, to actually chip it into the Tynemouth Voluntary Life Brigade, who are looking at an insurance bill of around about £1,000. Lastly, there's some special people who, without them, we would not be able to carry out the role of chair, civic drivers, who get us to the venues, acting as security, photographers and mace bearers, along with many other duties within their role. And our team of one in the civic office, who organises not only your diary, but also more often than not the event that you're going to. Thank you to all of them, it's greatly appreciated. And to my wife Maureen, well, with whom I will be celebrating 50 years of marriage at the end of this month. She deserves a medal as big as a frying pan for helping me not only over the last year, but the previous 49 years. To be perfectly frank, I don't know how I've survived. It's just her that's kept us going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Mulvanna, for those few words. Can we now return to the agenda? Item 4, apologies. Apologies have been received from Councillors Craven, Hall and Rankin. Do we have any other apologies? Can I ask members to please sign the relevant attendance sheet that's going round the room? Thank you. Do we have any declarations of interest? If you have, can you sign the sheets on your table? And if you have them, can you verbally declare them now? No. Item 6, the minutes of the last meeting. Can I ask the Council to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 21st of March 2019? The minutes have been agreed. Thank you. Item 7, municipal elections. Can I ask the Council to receive the return of councillors following the election held on the 2nd of May 2019, which is attached to the Council agenda? Item 8, this is good. I would now like to invite Norma Redfern, the elected Mayor, to address the Council.
Thank you, Chairman. Congratulations on your appointment, and to you on your appointment too, Councillor Drummond. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our retiring Chair of Council, Councillor Tommy Mulvenna, and of course his consort, Maureen Mulvenna, for all their hard work over the last year. I know that Tommy and Maureen have thoroughly enjoyed the role and have made lots of new acquaintances. I think we're very much aware of the fact that Tommy has worked tirelessly to raise money to fund the provision of 14 defibrillators, which were rolled out to our schools, ensuring that every school in this borough has one. Also, he has worked very hard to provide one at St Mary's Lighthouse, and I think he's going to dedicate some of that to the staff's effort, are you, Tommy? Well done, thank you very much. In addition to this, Tommy has supported Make Christmas Special, which helps tackle social isolation by ensuring that some of the most vulnerable members of our community have a special Christmas day and don't spend it alone. I think sometimes we forget those who are less fortunate ourselves, and I think this has been a splendid effort, because when you talk to those people and you go to visit those people on that particular day, they're almost in tears and can't believe that they've never had a day like that, which has been so nice for a long, long time. So thank you to all who's involved in that. He's also offered fund to the Bay Food Bank, and demand there is getting greater as the time goes on. He's given money to the Tynemouth Voluntary Life Brigade, and of course Walking With. And I understand Tommy has raised over 11,000 during the past year. Well done, Councillor Mulvenna, well done. It is indeed an impressive amount of money. I would like to thank you all for supporting Tommy, and I'm sure everyone in this chamber has bought a raffle ticket from Tommy at some time or other, and I don't think there's a part of the council that hasn't been touched by Tommy's raffle tickets, to be quite honest, both within the council and on the periphery, to be quite honest. I'd also like to thank our Deputy Chairman, Councillor Wendy, on her concert on for all their hard work last year. And I want to congratulate you, Wendy, on your appointment. And we have been together and known each other for a long, long time. And I've always been impressed by the way you're able to go into communities and be part of that community. And I went to attend a public meeting in Wendy's ward a few weeks ago with the other councillors there. And when I asked, oh, where is Wendy? Wendy was in the hall organising the Children's Young People Centre and helping with the young people. That was before the public meeting, wasn't it? And I would just think, I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job, and well done. It's rather nice of your mum and your family to be here, because I'm sure they'll be very proud of you tonight as well. I'd also like to congratulate Councillor David Drummond on his appointment as Deputy Chairman. Because when I was out knocking on doors and speaking to people in his ward, there was an elderly gentleman when I said, do you think you might support this councillor? He says, Pet? He said, I had a problem a few weeks ago, right? I had a job done and it left such a mess, and I'm quite old now and I couldn't do anything. And I asked the council, and for this gentleman, they didn't go quick enough, right? So he got in touch with his councillor. He went down with a brush and shovel and a barrow and cleared it up for him. Way beyond the call of duty. But those are the kind of people that we've got standing here today and sitting here today who actually really care about the people we serve. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our new councillors. I'm sure you will all work hard for the benefit of the residents, because remember, it was your residents who put you here, so I know they put your trust in you and you will work hard on their behalf. I think we have many, many talented councillors here, and of course our officers here in the council. And don't be worried at all if you're a new councillor to approach them or the staff to help you on the way and point you in the right direction. That's what we're here for, to work together. I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in the elections and helped to run the election day and the council smoothly. Well done, you and your Catherine, thank you very much. When I was out talking to our residents, they were very complimentary, I have to tell you, about the work that we were doing here in North Tyneside. And many of us have been around during the election time, knocking on many doors, to be quite, and talking to many residents. Although they were happy with what happened in North Tyneside, many of them remained disillusioned with the national picture, which of course we can't do anything about. We all know this has been another challenging 12 months, particularly in the light of the efficiency savings that we've had to achieve. However, despite these challenges, I think we have together achieved great things. I would personally like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has been involved in the regeneration of the Spanish City and the coastal area. I'm delighted that along with our partners, we have won 2 awards at the Royal Town Planning Institute Awards for Planning Excellence in 2019. There were 2 separate categories. The first one was Planning for a Successful Economy and Excellence, and the second was Planning for Heritage and Culture, with the judges describing the project as one that had the local community at the heart of it all. So we have got much stuff to be proud of. Because I remember the criticism we got at the outset of that journey. Sometimes it was hard to take, but we've continued, and I think we've done our best for the residents down there. The Regeneration Project has also won a Civic Trust Conservation Award and the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors Award in the Tourism and Leisure category has been shortlisted for several more in the area. So we're shortlisted for at least another 8 awards in that particular regeneration scheme that we carried out down there. So well done to everyone. What's more, our Central Lower Promenade Seed Event Scheme was named the best medium project at the annual Institute of Civil Engineers Robert Stevenson Awards. And if you remember, that was a scheme that we didn't take for granted. We sent it out to retender again, to be retendered again, because it was actually quite a pricey cost we got from, I think it was Keir, wasn't it? Was it Keir? Oh, it was Capita. It was one of those that came in to help, supposedly to help us, remember? And we went out to retender and actually was saved £1 million on that. So well done to those people as well. And after all that, we got this award. And the judges did praise the scheme for its design, high quality construction and collaborative partnership working, because we worked with another local authority, didn't we, to make this happen. So there's great things can happen in local authority. It isn't always great things don't happen actually with the private sector. I know they can do great things, but the local authorities can too. I know it's been a long, long time happening much of this regeneration, but quality can't be achieved overnight. And quality is what the people of North Tyne deserve, and I think you would agree with that. I know that as a council we are all, despite our political colours, proud of what we've achieved down at the coast. And I have to tell you that regeneration will go on right across the borough. There is now a real feeling of optimism. Change has happened in this authority, and businesses are making the coast their home once again, bringing new investment and visitors into the area. As we start the new council year, I'm determined that my cabinet and the wider council can build on these achievements and deliver the things that really matter to our residents here in North Tyneside. I have been delighted quite recently to receive extremely positive comments following the recent completion of the Forest Hall regeneration. Residents saying that it was a first-class job, big improvement to the area, and that it was tasteful and money well spent. Thanks to our staff in making that happen, and I gather it was on time, and one of the residents rang me to say she'd just come up from down south to North Tyneside, and it was the only project she'd known that had come in on budget and on time. So well done, well done. We need a few more of them, mind. What I was going to say to you was the fact that I can offer my thanks and congratulations to all concerned, because we have got many, many talented people in this council. And I would just like to say we're looking forward to see the start of the North Shields Town Centre and Fishkey regeneration projects. But we're not going to stop there. You will see from the report that went to Cabinet on the 26th of November 2018 that the Cabinet and myself have prioritised a number of projects across the borough in consultation with our residents. We're looking at Segadunum in partnership with Tyne and Wear Museums, Killingworth Lake in partnership with the Environment Agency and Northern Water, the lighting of the Collingwood Monument and the Priory in partnership with English Heritage, looking at St Mary's Lighthouse because they need to sort of gain more funding to make that happen, progressing now into Indigo Park, working with the Port of Tyne to improve the cruise port terminal, and looking forward to seeing these projects taking place and happening. Bit by bit, we will work right across the borough. And I think you will see from the list that has been circulated this evening that I have made no changes to the Cabinet members. Their portfolio areas or key areas of responsibility remain the same. The Cabinet, I must admit, have worked very well as a team over the past year, and I really appreciate their support. Thank you very much. And I do actually appreciate the support of my group. Finally, I would like to offer a huge thanks to all our employees. We have some amazing staff who go out day after day and provide the services to our residents of a high quality and work very hard to make our ambitious plans and visions for North Tyneside a reality. And it does sometimes concern me that the people out there day to day who I very rarely come in contact with are doing this hard job, working very, very hard. But without them, none of us would be here, because the quality of their work actually falls back on us as councillors. So if we have a tidy borough, if I have a clean borough, if we do buildings which are looking actually well thought out, I think at the end of the day it reflects on us as a council. So thank you to them. I do hope that you will all continue to support our plans in the year ahead. And once again, despite all the problems we've had, financial achievements we had to make, cuts, the efficiency we had to make, thank you all for the support, because I think we've done a great job together in North Tyneside. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Redfern. Can we move on to item 9, leaders of political groups? Can I ask for the names of the leaders of each of the political groups to be announced? The Conservative Party, Councillor Austin.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your appointment. I'm happy to report that the leader of the Conservative group is Councillor Judith Wallace.
Leader of the Labour group is the elected Mayor Norma Redfern.
Item 10, deputy leaders of political groups. Councillor Wallace.
Thank you, Chairman. Our deputy leader will be Councillor Austin.
And the deputy leader of the Labour group.
Thank you, Chair. Before making that announcement, can I congratulate you on your appointment and associate myself with the remarks that were made earlier, particularly the kinder ones. I don't know where Councillor Johnson got his information from, but I'd like to report that the Deputy Leader of the Labour Group will be Councillor Bruce Pickard.
Thank you. Item 11, which is the annual review of the Constitution. Can I now invite Councillor Frank Lott to speak, to move the recommendations as set out in the report?
Thank you, Chair. The Constitution Task Group has met to carry out an annual review of the main Constitution and its associated documents. The proposed changes that are being put forward for Council's consideration as part of this review are set out in the report. Changes approved by Council tonight will need to be referred to the elected Mayor for her consent in accordance with Article 15 of the Constitution. The key changes to the main Constitution document are to change the terms of reference of the Regulation and Review Committee to remove the power of the committee to approve the authority's policies relating to hackney carriage and private hire licensing and sex establishments. These will be dealt with in future by the Cabinet. The changes, that is. The key changes to the Officer Delegation Scheme largely relate to property and land matters. And can I take this opportunity to thank the members of the Constitution Task Group for their work on this year's review, and I'd like to move the recommendation in paragraph 1.2 of the report that Council approve the proposed changes to the Constitution and Officer Delegation Scheme and refer those changes to the elected Mayor for her consent.
Thank you, Councillor Lott. Do you have a seconder? Councillor Mulvenner?
I second the report and reserve the right to speak.
Are there any questions?
The report.
None on the report. I'll now invite members to speak to the motion. None? We'll now go to the vote. All those in favour?
Unanimous, Chair.
Unanimous. Thank you. Item 12, annual appointments. Can I invite Councillor Pickard to move the recommendations?
Thank you, Chair. Congratulate yourself and Davey on your appointments. Obviously, a moving speech was given for you to hear that. So, this report requests Council to approve the appointment of its various committees and subcommittees for the 2019-2020 municipal year, the allocation of seats to the political groups on those committees and subcommittees, the appointment of chairs and deputy chairs to the committees and subcommittees, the appointment of co-opted members on the audit committee, and the appointment of representatives to serve on non-executive outside bodies. I would like to move that the Council appoint the various committees and subcommittees for the 2019-20 municipal year and the numbers of seats for each committee subcommittee set out in section 1.5.1.1 of the report. Approve the allocation of seats on those committees and subcommittees to political groups represented on the Council as circulated around the Chamber, and agree that the Head of Law and Governance be informed of nominations to those committees and subcommittees by 12 noon tomorrow. Agree the appointment of chairs and deputy chairs of committees and subcommittees nominated by the Labour Group as circulated around the Chamber. Approve the appointment of Mr Kevin Robinson and Mr Malcolm Wilkinson as the two co-opted members of the Audit Committee for a further 2-year period. Note the appointment of the Reverend Michael Vine as the Church of England Diocesan Representative and Stephen Fallon as the Roman Catholic Diocesan Representative on the Overview, Scrutiny and Policy Development Committee. Note that the elected Mayor will appoint at least one councillor onto the Health and Wellbeing Board for the 2019-20 municipal year, and agree that the appointment of representatives to serve on non-executive outside bodies nominated by the Labour Group as circulated around the Chamber. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Pickard. Do you have a seconder?
Yes, Chair. I second and reserve the right to speak.
Are there any questions on the... None? I'll now invite members to speak to the motion. None? We'll now go to the vote. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Now go to item 13, the annual report of overview and scrutiny, and I'd like to invite Councillor Sandra Graham to present the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your election this evening. I'm pleased to introduce this overview and scrutiny report for 2018-19. Scrutiny is an essential part of ensuring that local government remains effective and accountable. Led by local councillors who examine how services are meeting the needs of residents, making evidence-based improvements, recommendations as determined by hard-working members of scrutiny panels. North Tyneside Scrutiny has an excellent record of influencing Cabinet decisions, using evidence to draw conclusions and to improve the lives of people living and working in our borough. A great example is our Kia Scrutiny, which has recently brought 370 staff back in-house, delivering excellence for our residents. We hope to widen the sources for the setting of scrutiny topics and would welcome any suggestions for further scrutiny from the public, officers, members, lead members, or indeed external organisations moving forward. I'm pleased to present this report and thank all officers and co-opted members for their effective contribution to scrutiny in this place. Council is recommended to note this annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Graham. Do you have any questions? Councillor Wallace.
Thank you, Chairman. With regard to the review of lettings policy as part of this report, it says that after lengthy discussions with officers and the Cabinet member, the subcommittee still had reservations and had expressed them in writing. I wonder if Council could be told what those reservations are and why no recommendations were made in this instance, please.
Councillor Graham, can you respond?
I will have to give that in writing. I'm not privy to the actual report unless someone who was chair of that actual scrutiny could respond immediately. We will give it in writing. Thank you.
They should be in the minutes of the committee. So just read the minutes, basically.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Councillor Thurloway says that they were in the minutes of that meeting. So if you want the minutes of that meeting, the answer should be in that report, in the minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. It does seem surprising that no recommendations have been made, so I look forward to receiving a written response.
Thank you, Councillor Wallace.
If I could just update members on that a little bit. The consultation is still ongoing at the moment, so the final report hasn't been written. As members have said, the initial report of the subcommittee is available, but the actual lettings policy document hasn't been finished because the consultation is still ongoing. So that will be coming to a future, Cabinet meeting soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Thank you. Right, I'll now invite members to speak to the report. Nobody? Now move on to item 14, Standards Committee, and I would like to invite the Deputy Chair of the Standards Committee, Councillor Lee, to present the report.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations on your respective appointments. The committee has been very busy this year. It has met on 3 occasions and has dealt with a variety of matters which are detailed in the work programme for 2018 and 19, referred to Annex 1. The Standards Subcommittee met on 2 occasions to deal with requests for dispensations from members in relation to interests they hold from their appointment to outside bodies by the authority. The subcommittee also met for complaints, hearings, and to consider investigation and report into a complaint where no breach of the code was found. The committee has been keen to encourage training for members on matters relating to the Code of Conduct and ethical governance. Training has been provided to members on the following: the Code of Conduct for members. This included requirements in relation to the Declaration of Interests and applying for dispensations from requirements of the Code. The committee will consider its work programme for the new municipal year of 2019-2020 at its first meeting of the new year, which will take place in June 2019. The annual report was considered by the Standards Committee at its meeting on the 20th of March 2019. It is referred to Council for information, and Council has recommended to note and receive it. There's one supplementary point that Councillor Rankin wanted to make, was that complaints were perhaps a little higher than we would like them to be, and we would urge members to think very carefully before unnecessarily escalating, and if they're in doubt about whether something should be reported, they should talk directly with legal and take professional input if they're in any doubt. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lee. Do you have any questions on the report? No, I now invite members to speak to the report. None, so we move on to item 15, Chair's announcements. Oh, that's me. Firstly, I would again like to thank my predecessor, and also congratulations to Councillor Drummond for being Deputy Chair, and I'm sure we'll be able to work together well. I'd also like to thank Councillor Pickard and Johnson for their kind words and the nomination. I'll get you later, Carl. And hopefully I'll be able to do the job to the best of my ability. I'm still finalising my charities, and I haven't quite got it down to what it's going to be, but I'll let you all know in due course what the charities are going to be. And I'd now like to move on to elected mayor's announcements. Do you have any?
Thank you, Chairman. I gather everybody will be very pleased because I've said all I have to say before. Thank you very much.
Okay, can we now do the common seal? Thank you, and everybody in the room is welcome to join me in the restaurant for some refreshments, and that means everybody's invited to join me for some refreshments. And thank you. Thanks.